And welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. We are back. It's time for FF1600 Fridays. I am so happy to be here. My name is Adam. Thank you for joining me this week. This is Williams Gaming Club FF Formula Ford 1600 Fridays, hosted right here at Box3 Motorsports as we get ready for practice to come to an end here in about 3 minutes. We get qualifying underway for today's triple race. As we wait and prepare for that, though, I wanted to take a moment today, something we haven't done since the start of this series. Let's take a look real quick at the standings, because things are a little all over the place a bit due to folks missing races, things of that nature. We want to catch up on what's going on, who's winning what. The field looks a little thin today, as expected as you move through a season. Same thing is happening with the Box3 IMSA season. The classes are getting a little narrower each week, but that doesn't mean there isn't great racing to be had. James, you actually just jumped on track, I can see here. But let's take a look, as I said, let's go through these standings real quick over at SimCred. Number one, first place right now in this Ray FF1600, Dario Frattini leading the pack, having missed the last race with a 3-point penalty there, 139 points. Soren Garrett's so far, well, no, Maxime Grenon is right now holding the fastest lap during practice, but Soren Garrett's is out on practice, I can tell you right now, and is running in second on the season. And if Dario does not show up today, which so far I do not see him out there, I think we'll see Soren, if he can hold on for all 3 races, jump himself back, or I should say up to the lead of this series. There he is. We talked about him just a moment ago. Maxime Grenon missed the first race, but has been out for the last 2. Is currently sitting in third. Epson Knudsen is here today, 85 points. Tom Bland missed the last race. We'll see if he gets it back out there today, sitting at 78. Zella Lewis, Mr. Alex himself, in 6th, with Brandon Pfeiffer, Mike Pollard, Will Green, and Ricardo La Hoyo rounding out your top 10 for this series. And only one round left after today. So, as you can tell, it's really... there's still a toss-up given how close those points are. Just to remind everyone, as always, 3 races today, 15 minutes apiece after the qualifying session. Qualifying being solo qualifying with 2 laps. Then we will run that first race in grid order, qualifying order. After that, though, it's reverse grid for race 2 and race 3, and that's where things can get real spicy. A lot of fun. So stick around right here. As I said, we're going to get the qualifying here in just a few minutes, and then we will be all set to kick off with racing today. In fact, very quickly going to be into qualifying here with just 15 seconds left to go. I hope everyone's ready for a great holiday, great time coming up. The race is back next week. This series will be back one more time. Now, unfortunately, I'm not going to be here to host it for you. I'm not going to be available next Friday. I've already let Will Green know that. So hopefully those guys are able to figure something out and get it going and make sure that you guys have what you need to catch the last race of this series. Let's take a look, in fact, real quick as it is. Right there, Lime Rock will happen next Friday, same time. 3 p.m. Eastern Standard, 8 p.m. UK time. We'll be sure and get back here, or back here, probably to the Williams channel. Get back over here and take a look at what's going on as we get ready now for the qualifying session. As you can see, let's, you know what? Let's just go full screen on this. Nobody wants to see it. B5 not going to make the race today. So we'll start to watch drivers head out. Epson Dave Knudsen on track, Maxime Grignon on track, Gazella Lewis was on track, and now it looks like he's dropped back to the pits. We'll wait for laps to start to come in here. Little roll bar action from Knudsen, number 17 car. See what kind of times these drivers can set at Rudskogen this week. Anybody who watches the Box 3 cast knows I talked about it on Recovery Drive just last night. Rudskogen, not one of my tracks. I can never find... Actually, we talked about it last week after the race too with Mr. Alex Lewis. Rudskogen, one of those tracks that it's very difficult for me to find flow on, and I don't know why. Never have driven it in the 1600, so maybe it's quite different in that way. I've done Mazda 5s, GR86s here. More road cars versus, you know, the open wheelers. But still very difficult to find a flow for that, right? I don't know why. There's just certain corners that don't click for me, and I feel like I'm never quite in control or able to go fast. I know I have time that I can make up there, but I'm just not able to do it. So how these drivers do today, no doubt. Knudsen, one of the faster ones. Maxime Grignon out on track now, held first during practice, fastest lap. Zella Lewis, there he is. Speaking of Alex, out and running today for his qualifying laps. Rudskogen is a fun track. I will give it that. I enjoyed it. I just couldn't hook with it. Mr. Fife, feel better though for us, will you, sir? You have plenty to do. I must be, it's probably my fault keeping you up so late last night for Recovery Drive. Although all you guys would tell me I was going to bed too soon, it seems like maybe you were up past your bedtime, sir. Will Green back out spinning laps today. Track temp of 22.78 degrees Celsius, air temp of 20.88, partly cloudy on the circuit in Rudskogen. No snow. Is not going to be true here for much longer where I live, apparently. We wait for these times to start coming in. Check in on Soren Gerets. That's StimHub liveried FF16 as time's now starting to come in. Grenon with 128.261. I want to say we saw faster times in the practice. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure I caught a few faster times during the practice session day down in the 127s. We'll wait and see where the rest of these guys qualify today. Grenon so far fastest with that 128.261. Wait for Mr. Lewis to come across, set his first lap, and there it is, a 129.032. And there's that 127. Bertini gonna get there first. Speaking of which, we talked about whether or not he was going to show up this week. He was not in the server earlier, but now up there at the top of the timing list, has a chance to hold on to P1 for this series this week. You know, I completely did not realize I shared a link with Will today because I have a new live timing software that I wanted to share, and I'm like, oh, can you send this out because I won't be able to, and didn't realize I absolutely can do that here at Box 3. So if you want to watch live timing today, head on over to livetiming.sdk gaming and take a look. You'll be able to get all the numbers and everything you need for this race. A lot of data in there. Knudsen moving up into third with that 128.25 as he jumps back to the pits. Ahoyo sitting in fifth now. 5 drivers yet to set laps. Will Green being one of them. Seconati. First timer out here. Don't recall that name. And there's, as I say it, Will Green jumps into P2 with a 128.128. Look at that. Isn't he fancy? And he immediately gets bumped by Sella Lewis. And Garrett's now jumping up. So 2 127s thus far. You need a little bit quicker. Keeping that 127. Oh, and Frattini decides to take her off into the water for a minute. Soren Garrett gets into second with his time. I don't wonder if this is a second lap. He certainly has time for a second lap. He actually can maybe head out or heading in to the pits. As I said, back to Lime Rock next week. The final race of this short FF1600 series, really thrown together. I really enjoy the format, and it's one of those things that I wish I wish we could do at Box 3. Maybe we can, and I'm not saying it's not possible. Obviously, it's possible. The tricky part with it is that you have to, someone has to be live running the event. You can't just set up 3 races in a row like that. It's not something that's possible. And so you have to have someone who's, because of the timing, you don't know the exact time it's going to end. You want to give people time to jump into the next race. And so you've got this issue where it's just not quite going to work. But unless you have that live person who's ready to go. We want to see if Alex here is able to. Oh, he might have scrubbed that right there and not going to be able to get any faster. It looks like the battle might be between him and Will Green this week. We will have Mr. Lewis here with us in just a bit to talk about today's race. Again, if you want to, Zella Lewis does stream on Twitch. Go over and take a look. Watch his perspective during the course of this race if you'd like. Sure, he would appreciate it. Gonna do it. Just a minute and a half left to go. And Alex, are you with us today, sir?
I am. Sorry,
Uh,
hello.
no, don't apologize. I saw you kind of you were unmuted then muted, so I know you're live right now, so I didn't want to bug you. Are you ready? Did you get your practice in that you talked about last week?
I got a little bit of practice in,
Oh,
but thankfully we're having a bit of a chat on the Discord, and everybody's kind of in the same boat. Nobody feels confident here, so I guess that's good for us. Hopefully, no spins or anything. But as it usually goes with these races, I think by the third race, people have got a bit comfortable. They've got the seat time and the race time in the track, so the third race is the one to really look out for. So definitely stick around for that.
yeah.
But yeah, we've got okay pace. Again, the goal for this race is to be, for the first one, don't cause any incidents, don't spin, and hopefully I can finish somewhere near the podium. I'm thinking like a top 5 because some of the guys behind me are a bit quicker, such as Will and Maxime. So if I can finish in the top 5, I'll be happy.
I know. I mean, looking at the qual times, you and Will are right there. Maxine as well. You guys are all kind of right there. It looks like the first race is going to give us quite the mid-pack battle.
Yeah, let's hope so. If I do get a good launch with Soren, I believe, because I think Dario might be off. But if I do get a good launch, I'm definitely going to fight it into, we've got to fight it and to try and back up the rest of the pack. But yeah, it should be a good little battle between Will, Maxime, and Espen and I.
Absolutely. Now, let me ask you: is there any of that strategy there? So, or does that maybe strategy change as that first race goes, where something happens? You spin yourself, or you get popped, or something happens, and then suddenly you decide, you know what? I'm already in the back. Should I just stay here and kind of cruise along because race 2 that puts me in first in race 2, and then I can just play defense the whole time?
Yeah, I think what we'll do if there's a big accident or anything, we'll just get our seat time. I just learn where the grip is, learn where it's not, and all that stuff, and move on from there.
Okay, very good. Very good. Well, we are all juiced up to watch you race again this week, sir. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I hope you're ready. It sounds like like you said, you got a little bit of practice in there. But hopefully it was enough that it's going to put you in a good position in this first race. You're starting on row 2, so can't complain about that, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So if we could see the gap, we've got to go for it, as all sim racers love to quote. But again, hopefully no accidents on our end. And if there is an accident, hopefully it's not our fault.
Absolutely. Well, we'll wish you good luck, sir. Let you get on the grid and be prepared, and we will, I'm sure, talk to you in between the races today.
Sounds good. Thank you very
Awesome.
much.
Thanks, Alex. Here you go, folks. They're ready. 10 drivers on grid today. Rudskogen. A race that maybe they're not all excited about, but we've got a green flag. Let's go for the next 15 minutes. Right off the jump, Dario Frattini going to hold on to it relatively easily. Lewis still in third ahead of Will Green. Able to get through T1 without issue. Oh, change this up. There we go. That's better. Already, I mean, the grid spread a little bit here, right? But now Zella trying to go wide. Will Green having problems. Not problems, but certainly under pressure from Maxime. James Yexley in an accident back there. And now Will going to apply the pressure to Lewis. Oh. Maxime's looking for that inside hook. Not quite able to get there. Giorgio Zaccanati in the back, towards the back there, has already jumped 2 spots today. Around Sean Clark and James Yexley. We'll wait to see if he continues to make those moves. And Will Green, Maxime putting the nose of that car right under the exhaust of Will Green. Close enough to melt the tip off of it. And there it is. Being able to get around. Pick up the spot from Will. As James Yexley heads into the pits now. Checking with our leader, Dario Frattini. Garrett comes under pressure from Lewis. Lewis, look, you guys just heard him. Fight it best you can. Don't spin. don't get involved in an incident, and it's considered a win, right? Currently in third, started this race in third, still there. He does have some faster drivers behind him, Maxime and Will Green, who he claims are faster. I don't know. We saw Alex last week. He kind of spun on both of them, but he's going to hold on for now. Maxime now climbing onto the back of Zella Lewis, just like he did of Will Green a few moments ago. Watch as Maxime in the number 33 car chases down Zella Lewis as they run downhill. This is one of those corners where I mentioned earlier, cannot find the flow. Something always throws out my back end here. How these guys are controlling is beyond me, because they're both, all of them, as we can see ahead too, keeping it very tight through these S's. Maxime kind of take a chance, see if he can't get those guys to rub tires together before he gets around Zella. So Lewis having to play this defense has allowed Garrett's to pull away a little bit, open up that gap just a tad. We see some lap times coming in there. 127 for our leader. A bunch of 127s. Didn't see that during qual. Epson, Nave Knudsen now with an issue. Oh, it did the thing. I didn't want it to do the thing. As we look at the replay here to see what happened to Epson. New software. Sometimes things happen. He throws himself out. And, oof, barely able, La Jolla barely able to get around him before it was too late. We jump back. Why are we still on a replay? We go live. There's the button. There we go. And back to live we go. Knudsen able to just lose one spot there. New software is always so much fun. Just an absolute blast. So Maxime Grignon gets around Zella Lewis, now up into third, facing down Soren Garrett. Let's we said the Frattini now setting a 126.8. That's the first 126 we've seen today at this track. Rudskogen. But with the clean air in front of him, these 126, 127, 128 lap times say that, in a 15-minute race, we're just getting, we're getting close to the halfway point here. With a 15-minute race, you're really not going to have to deal a whole lot with back markers in a grid this small. Obviously, we know James Yexley was into the pits, so that's going to cause something there, right? He's going to be a little further back. You might have to deal with one or two drivers that end up having to hit the pits. Other than that, though, Frattini's going to have clean air for the vast majority of this race. As we watch this here, see those gaps opening up a little bit. Let's take a quick look. I want to go back and see what works. We're going to go back and take a look at the pass of Maxime going on Alex Lewis. Got the inside line there. Alex going very wide. And with an inside on the next corner, Maxime able to lock it down. So now I have to ask myself kind of a question, right? We're seeing these lap times, 2 126s now, one from Dario Frattini, the fastest lap of the race thus far. You've got also another 126 from Maxime Grenon, and a lot more 127s than what we saw during qual. A little bit of strategy there, a little bit of sandbagging to start the first race back a little bit, purposefully to line yourself up for race 2 and possibly race 3. I don't know. Definitely different there. Let's check in on Will Green. All alone at this point. Still running great lap times. Just a little bit down. His best so far, a 127.58. Actually, both the guys, Zella and Will, their last laps being their fastest. 127.41 for Lewis, and Green with a 127.58. So, and James actually struggling back here. Uh-oh. What happened here? Soaring Garrett's. Don't see anything. Let's go up and take a look at the pass on Soaring Garrett's. Oh, Garrett's getting hung up on the curb there a little bit. Throws himself wide, allowing Maxime Grignon and Zella Lewis to both get around. Wondered why those things happened so fast. So now Lewis going to feel pressure from Garrett's as he gets his tires back under him. The gap was there, and all of a sudden, Garrett's loses 2 spots. That's not normal with no crash recorded. Lewis gets himself back into third now. No positions gained or lost thus far, but Grignon is up 3 spots today in this first race. Frattini slowing up a little bit, a 128.4 that last lap. Ekinati doing well today this first race, up 2 positions. And 1 over Yexley. Yexley struggling now, sitting in the pits. We check back in with our race leader, Dario Frattini. Garrett's right there and is going to take that inside line on Lewis. Not quite enough. Alex holding on. He's talked about Soaring Garrett's before, you know, feeling he's got the pace on him. So Lewis having to play a ton of defense right now. Going to slow him up. Which I'm sure, you know, Maxime is not sad about at all. Lets him start to run away. Continue to open that gap so he can finish this race in second. Now Lewis able to stretch it out. Looks like Will Green is closing up. Slowly closing the gap to Garrett's. This first race, this is perfect. I mean, no incidents. As this starts to wind down, just a few minutes left to go now. As all three of these drivers start to tighten up. So now, I told you guys, Will Green was closing that gap. It wasn't a joke because here he comes. So now Garrett's finding himself in a position where he's not just able to chase down Lewis. He's got to pay attention to what's going on behind him. We talked about the mid-pack race at the beginning, and we weren't wrong. It's getting spicy up in here. Genie set a new fastest lap, 126.62. As he just continues to run away here. And up ahead. Oh, wait a minute. What happened to Dario? Looks like Dario got... No. Let's go check and see what happened to Dario back here. Again, not a normal incident and one that happened very quickly. Like, go. Why aren't you going? We may have to back that up a little. Back that up just a little bit. Make sure we didn't miss anything here. All right, let's check this replay again. That puts Maxime Gagnon back up into first. We see the swale in the back end, but nothing serious yet. Wait, oh my goodness, this is why you guys shouldn't listen to me. Oh my god. We'll find it. Let's get back to live racing. Oh, that's why I took it from me. There we go. Thank you. My goodness. Gotta love the struggle. Bella Lewis now up into second. As he fights Garrett here right at the end. The battle for second will continue right to the end of this race. Once it's over, then we'll try and see if I can go back to that replay again. The camera's got wonky on me, but Dario Frattini all the way back now in 9th place behind Sean Clark. Obviously something serious happened there, whether a hardware issue. It's going to allow Maxime Gagnon to gain 4 spots on the day, end up in first. Now Zella Lewis holding on to second place. But Garrett's in green right behind him. Guess we really shouldn't call it mid-pack, right? It's not back in 4, 5, and 6, but still, we knew that this was going to come together today, that these drivers were qualifying very close together. Obviously, right around the same pace. It was going to come down to defense, who could keep themselves on the track. As we watch here, there it is, Zella Lewis able to cross the line just ahead of Garrett's and Green to hold on to P2 today. Change some things around here, make it a little easier. Now, with that done and the race finishing out, Clark and Yexley haven't crossed yet. Let's see if we can't go back to this replay and figure out where this happened. A little bit quicker here. I just really want to figure out what happened to Dario Frattini. Did he just disconnect? Maybe that's why we can't find him. He disconnected, but he's still showing. So unsure what might have happened there, but a great run from all these guys. Alex, what a run for second.
Yeah, I was quite lucky. Basically, I was just trying to like hold that inside line, make sure that, not to give Soren's very, very quick. He was much quicker than I was, so I just knew I had to basically get the make my Formula Ford the size of a GT3 car and try and get out of there. But yeah, thankfully we got a nice little battle in there somewhere, but we managed to keep P2. Unfortunately, Dario, I've heard, he had a bit of an issue
Is that
with
what
the
happened?
cat. Yeah, something like that. So,
Okay.
but so it'll be me and Maxime starting in the back. But yeah, knowing Dario, he'll be up there anyways. Pacing away.
Oh, no. Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm sure he's going to climb back up, but it was just surprising because I couldn't find him. Things are telling me that he's getting past, but I could not find him. So hopefully hopefully he doesn't have a hardware issue or anything like that. So how was this first race? I mean, no incidents. You kept it on track, right? You were very, very happy about that, right? I have to assume. You didn't spin, nothing of the sort. So I don't know. What do you feel about after limited practice at Rudskogen? How do you feel about that race? You guys are going to start from the back from the second, obviously, but how was this one?
It was okay. It was okay. I definitely had some moments, like especially that hard right hander just after, I think it's like T3, that very, very big right hander. I definitely had some moments where the wheel got very, very light and I downshifted a bit too quickly, things like that. So I did have a bit of some scary moments. Thankfully, Soren is a very, very good driver and he could recognize that my car was very loose, and gave me far more room than I needed, which was very, very kind of him. But yeah, overall, I think there's definitely some pace to find in this. Very, very evident when Soren and Will both caught me back up. But as long as I've got track position, hopefully I can keep them behind me. But we'll see in this next race.
Well, I mean, I got to say, your best lap that race was a 127.411. Only two other drivers, and that's Maxime and Dario, were able to hit the 126s, right? So,
okay.
Certainly you had pace. I think Garrett's did have a faster lap. So did Will Green, with a 175 and a 049. I don't have averages or anything here, but you guys are really all running a very, very similar pace. So you've got it. You can beat him. Make sure you beat him. Beat Will.
Yeah, I'll definitely try.
Just beat Will Green. That's the important one.
Yeah. That is definitely the most important person
Always
to bring,
the most important
to beat.
Oh, well, while we wait for this next one to spin up, sir, you're gonna be starting in the back row, last row 5. Where at Rudskogen are your best opportunities to get through traffic and get yourself back to the front?
I'd probably say T1. There's a few overtaking spots. There's like the hairpin as well towards the ending bit of the sector of the lap. But I definitely say T1 is a good opportunity to do so. But it does lead into that right-hander. So even if you send it on the inside, you're going to be on the outside going into the following T2 and T3. So I'd probably say the hairpin is a good opportunity. I did have a few sends there from Soren. Thankfully, he held it tight, and we managed to keep it under control. But in all honesty, I think anywhere where we've got the inside line, we should be good to go. We should be fine.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll see. We'll see in the race.
Now, what about the big sweeper at the bottom of the hill? Because that's a long corner, right? I don't have a track map. I did, but no.
Is it like towards the side of the lap?
Yeah, it's not too far. You come down the hill, and it's the big sweeping right-hander. It's not real fast. Maybe a medium speed corner, but it's. We saw a few people lose position there because they ended up I think they outbraked themselves and just went too wide. And hopefully maybe you can create some opportunity there too.
Yeah, it is a difficult one because as I was saying before, like that T1, if you go on the inside line into that T1, you'll get you get track position initially, but because it goes into a right-hander, you're going to be on the outside line approaching that T3 and that very, very long like right-hander, and there's not very much grip. If you're not on the racing line, it's very, very loose and light, and because it's so quick, it's very easy to spin. So for the most part, as when I approached that corner, I was just trying to say like don't send it too hard, don't brake too late, don't downshift. That's why I had a few moments where I was actually scared. So I was quite happy that I finished in P2 because I definitely had some moments in that corner in particular. But yeah, I would say for that one, it would probably be the inside would be the place to send it. But again, it's one of those opportunities where it's is it really worth it, especially early on into the stint. because it's very, very easy for you to lose it or to spin out and actually tag somebody. And I've seen that multiple times in the officials. And not only in this car, it's in the F4 car, in the F3 car. I've seen that it could be very, very light there as well. So it's definitely the nature of the track opposed to the vehicle.
Okay. Well, I am eagerly awaiting to see how you do in round 2 of 3 today. I don't know, the reverse grids are the ones that always get me. They're always the ones with the most excitement, right?
Yeah, exactly.
We're just waiting for this to load up here. It looks like the session is live and ready to go. Another thing too, I felt bad for James. He actually had to head into the pits, I believe, at least twice. And man, there's a long pit lane at this.
Yeah,
point.
it is.
It's the whole start finish straight. So it's like, I mean, you actually don't come out of the pits until what, turn 2, right? Like you bypass turn 1 if you go through the pits, I think.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I felt bad because he had to keep going to the pits. And it's like, oh, you're slow cruising this, man. It's not going to be a lot of fun. So, but with the session loading up, Alex, again, we will let you get back to your crowd. I saw you had a huge crowd over there. It looks like a party over where you're in Alex land. It looks fantastic. So go have fun. We're going to go and get ready for this second of 3 races. And we wish you the best of luck, sir.
Sounds great. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thanks, Alex. And there we go, folks. We'll start heading out for a little race number 2 practice, just to give folks time to get on track. Sean Clark heading out. Lewis is sitting in the pits. He's gotten himself registered and in there and ready to go. Screen you guys saw earlier was the live timing. You're able to check out the link in the chat. Let me know if anyone needs that again. All the details on today's drivers as Sean Clark heads out. Becanati getting a few laps in. Ricardo Lahoyo, number 9 car. So hopefully, I said it, and I mean, you kind of feel bad for people at times. You want them to have a good race. Poor James, he actually seems to be struggling at Rudskogen. I would hope, maybe we'll have to make sure we check in with him in between race 2 and race 3, that maybe Alex doesn't take him out after the race this week, right? I feel bad. Last week I got questioned because I said that James actually had to die, and it wasn't true. He didn't have to. Alex felt he did. It was not my fault. I didn't curse him. I wouldn't do that. Drivers start dropping in. Will Green back out to practice. As I said earlier, Sean Clark. Little warm-up session here. On board real quick with our race winner from race 1. Clark setting an actual time, just a 1:32.9. And now as the 1:29 starting to come in. These guys are always so competitive. I'm going to look to see who can stack that leaderboard during the warm-up session. Before we get back to the next race today, the next 15-minute reverse grid race. It looks as though it does look as though Dario might be gone, as though he might have, whatever issue he might have had might be something that is dropping him from today's race. Unfortunately. Giorgio. Recanati comes up the hill. You hope everyone is ready. A ton of stuff going on. Tomorrow on the Williams channel, we will be hosting a 6-hour event at Le Mans. Myself and Mr. Philip Milwee. Feel pleased, folks, come join us for that tomorrow, starting at 10:30 Eastern Standard Time, running until about 5 p.m. We're gonna have a good time there tomorrow. Sunday, PC ACC Racing returns to Box 3. You'll be able to watch that here, Mr. Milwee. And then next weekend, again, another FF1600 Friday, hopefully. There's be some coverage for that so that everyone can catch the Lime Rock race, the finisher to this season. And next Saturday will be the next round of the IMSA season here at Box 3. Again, hosted by Mr. Phil Milwee. I will be unavailable. Ton of great racing going on this time of year. No reason not to tune in, no matter where you can watch it. Check out Alex Gisela Plays on Twitch. In fact, make sure everybody has that who might be watching right now. Great guy, so fun to talk to, has the knowledge, loves racing, and it's just a lot of fun. So only 8 drivers remain for this race coming up, but that's okay. Lewis sits in the pits. Dave Knutson, James Yaxley, Will Green deciding not to take advantage of the warm-up session. We check in with Maxime out of Canada. Great part about series like this, bringing together folks from Canada, Italy, UK, Ireland. All over the world. Mainly Europe, of course. Good to see people from all. We get ready now for the race. We'll wait for drivers to start hitting the grid and then get all checked up. So James Yaxley going to start this one with Sean Clark in second. Boy, it's hard to pick the camera this track. That's a little. So James Yaxley, Sean Clark in row 1. Secanati and Knutson in row 2. La Hoyo, Will Green in row 3 and row 4. Oh, that's weird. It skips the numbers. Zell Lewis and Maxime. You know, I don't know where driver number 7 is. A bit odd, but what are you gonna do? Perhaps it's just not dropped onto the grid, but not even listed in my, there is no driver 7. It goes 6, 8, 9. Weird. Green flag for race 2. Let's go. Knudsen taking up a spot real quick. Along with Ahoyo, as we watch Zaccarini drop off. Sean Clark and Yexley now dropping off. Sean Clark taking up P1. Oh, and just a massive conflagration right there. Oh my goodness. Let's back that up real quick if we can. Fly back and watch the beginning of this again if we can. Wow. Right there, the bump. That's all it took was a nudge. And that was so scary about these open wheelers. All it takes is a nudge, and all of a sudden, everybody is all over the place as James Yexley spins out. Maxime Grignon able to take up P1 after all of that. Yeah, conflagration. That is a big word, Retro. Thank you. I have a large vocabulary. Taken up into P1 right away after that, able to gain 8 spots in lap 1. Sean Clark running in second, kind of sticking with him for now, given where Sean ended up the last race. A little bit of a surprise, to be honest, but good for him, and we'll see how well he does throughout the rest of this race. Back here a little further, Zaccarini and La Hoyo holding on to 3 and 4, while Will Green and Lewis still up 2 spots, but not a lot of fun getting in a pile up like that. No, Chief, that's not true. You know that's not. Don't be rude. I watched Killers of the Flower Moon this weekend, Chief. Don't make me make comments. Knudsen there behind Lewis. No doubt looking to close that gap up, but not going to happen right now. Daganati, a D-class driver, doing really well to be sitting in third here. Trying to chase down Clark. An A-class driver himself. Knudsen is closing in on Lewis. Reeling him in a little bit at a time. There's that fantastic Takis livery. Facing down Mr. Alex Lewis. Lewis fighting now. Knudsen just applying the pressure to the back end of that Formula Ford. There so far, Ricardo La Hoyo holding on the top lap at a 128.036. So I think the toss up here at the front of this may have taken some grief out of people. Maybe everybody's calming down a little bit. Sean Clark, they're already battling, but Clark able to hold on to this point. There it is. There's that inside line for Giorgio. He's able to take around Sean Clark. Can he hold on to it, though? Nudges his way up through the S's, and yes, he does secure that. Now, Ohoyo wants to be next as Knudsen. Oh, what do we got here? Yeah. Lewis had dropped his spot. Now gets back around Knudsen. But can't keep it. Checking on La Hoyo because he's got Will Green coming up behind him. He's right there on Sean. He's trying to chase down Clark. So again, this little mid-pack action is where it's at today. Knudsen securing P6, wanting to hold on to it over Zella Lewis. Clark leads a pack of 3, and oh, I saw it coming. Wow, Will Green unable to break in time. Sean Clark spinning. but spun himself. It looked like Green tapped up on, or I'm sorry, it was Knudsen who spun. Looked like Green tapped up on Clark. Now Will Green running out ahead with a good margin. Now we wait to see if Lewis will make another move on Espen Nave Knudsen. Well, we saw something similar last week. There was an issue where, and I don't want to say it was Will, although it could have been Will. Actually, no, I'm sorry, it was Alex Lewis. There was no opportunity to stop. The car in front just broke hard, almost like a brake check, but not on purpose. Trying to get the vehicle back under control, saw what was going to happen, and that third driver coming through the corner, just unable to hold on. Nave Knudsen now getting around Lewis and Clark. Lewis will now take over E6. Taking on our race leader, Maxime Grenon. Just a cruising in race 2. Had to fight his way to get there for race 1. Up 8 spots though, having won the last race. Started in the back, and that accident up front just ensured all he had to do was keep his nose clean, and he was able to get himself back into P1. So more than likely a double first place for Maxime today. We'll see what he can do in race 3. Things relatively spread out today, though, as we wait for Giorgio to come up the hill. The Holo just not quite able to close in. We see it get down to about 7-8 tenths, and then it opens right. I think everybody just went back to their corners after that tussle up front in lap 1. Will Green all alone now out there. We check in on Maxime one more time. On Clark Losing 5 spots on this race today. Just right at 5 minutes left to go. We will get ready for race 3. See if we can go back here. I'm gonna run it back real quick again. I want to watch the beginning of this race one more time. See if we can pick this up from Zella Lewis's position or perspective. And if I can change, I think that camera will be better. There it is. Just again, with whether you're talking about the Formula V, you talk about these FF1600s, it seems like all it takes is that one wheel tap and it is all over. Catching up there, Stream Elements. I'm glad you were able to tell everyone that we are now streaming at Twitch today. A little bit of a run here towards the end of the race. We saw a battle at the end of the last one. Laholo facing down Decanati. Looks like he's going to have an easy inside line pass if he can keep the pressure up. Not quite. There he goes. Got the inside line. We talked about this with Alex down here at the bottom of the hill. This long, sweeping right-hander. You can hold on to that inside line, stay on the racing line. Your opponent swings out. You're more than likely going to be able to pick up a pass right there relatively easy. And there, Laholo picks up P2. Putting Zacatini on the, leaving him on the podium, but still third place right now. Gap opening up there. It looks like he's going to be able to hold on to second. Ricardo able to hold on to second place. A little bit more time left to go, though. Anything could happen. We have seen some spins today, although I got to say the driver's been a lot more under control today versus the previous races. We have not, I think we've seen, what, 2-3 spins? Previous weeks, it's been 2 or 3 spins per race. obviously I had to take a look away because Zaccarini is way down the list now. That would be why. Let's go take a look at it. I missed that. I apologize, folks. I had to look away for a moment. Camera will decide to do its thing. It will. Just got done talking about spins, didn't we? Did. Zaccarini losing a bunch of spaces. Will Green now sitting in third. Knutson in fourth. And Della Lewis trying to chase down, maybe pick up P5 before the end of this. It's going to be rough. Last lap. Alex Lewis waiting until the last minute possible to see if he cannot pick up into the top 5. There it is. Giorgio able to hold on over Zella Lewis right to the end. Zella, great pressure. But at the end of the day, Giorgio not falling for it as the drivers come across for the last time there. Excellent, excellent, excellent. One more to go, folks. Just one more. 15 minutes to glory. Our drivers will be all set. So, reverse grid. Yaxley again going to start up front with Clark. Lewis will be in row 2 this time. Zaccanati. Knutson, Will Green all the way back. And Maxime will once again start in last. We will see if he can run it all the way out this time. First, if you're not first, you're last. And he has shown to be first both times today. Just unbelievable. As he looks to hold on. Maybe he does it again. If we have another spin out like we did before, maybe he does it again. I hope we don't have another incident. That's no fun for anyone. But let's go ahead and get out of here. Get this all set up for next race. You folks are having fun today. I'm always having these races are. They really are. So we'll wait for that next race to come up and go in there. Drivers will get a little bit of warm up again, and then we will get it started for the last. All kinds of stuff going on. Let's take a look one last time. For this clears on me because as soon as we join the next session, this will clear out. James Yaxley, Sean Clark will be in row 1. Zella Lewis, Zaccanati in row 2. Epson, Nave, Knutson, and Will Green in row 3. Laholo and Maxime Grignon row 4 for the third and final race of today's Triple Crown at Rudskogen. Back next week, Lime Rock is going to finish out this short little Formula Ford 1600 series. Very tight track at Lime Rock. We'll get Alex's impressions when we get to talk to him here in a little bit, but that's a tight track, right? It's narrow. I don't know which layout. Actually, maybe session's up, so we're gonna get in there. But we might be able to take a look and see. Actually, let's go back. Oh, it's not scheduled yet. I can't. I'm gonna say try to see what layout was chosen for that one. As of now, the session isn't up, so it's not something I'm gonna be able to take a look at. So that is, we'll have it for you. Somebody will have it for you. We here for this. So I want to see. So this time, the second race, Maxime with the fastest lap, just breaking into the 126s. Surprising. It's as if things have slowed up a little bit. The one thing, yeah, track temps are relatively the same, 22.22 during that last race, 19.93C for the air temp. A little lower, but not horribly so. Maybe temperature's playing a little bit of a role for these drivers. Maybe a little bit. You got to say, I mean, a 15-minute race is not long. It doesn't mean it's not stressful. These reverse grids. You don't need a ton of drivers on track for the reverse grid to just be crazy for you. So, Alex.
Hello, hello.
What did you do? We saw what you did coming out of T1.
Oh,
no, it wasn't you.
I was. Oh.
We saw the pile up coming out of T1, but it looked like just, and this is one I wanted to talk to you about, these open wheelers, right? Like, all it takes is a tap in the wrong spot, and suddenly everybody is everywhere all the time.
Yeah. No, it was just one of those incidents. I was actually looking back on the replay, just trying to figure out, I was like, what exactly occurred.
Mm-hmm.
But what essentially happened was, I think one of the guys, I actually didn't see who it was, didn't really get a launch. And it was literally into the braking zone. I saw it was 3 wide, but I already committed to my line at that point.
Okay.
And yeah, it was just like one of those like T1 lap 1 incidents, you know, no hard feelings really or anything like that. Obviously, if I saw that it was going to be like 3 wide, I wouldn't have, probably would have waited, probably would have given more space than needed. But yeah, I was literally just in the cockpit and trying to just like look. And if I go by frame, I'm like, oh, I can see now it's 3 wide. But that's one of those beautiful things about hindsight. And when you slow a clip down frame by frame, that you can then see in the corner of the screen, like, oh, okay, if I was looking there at that point, I would have seen. But yeah, it happens. No, and then the rest of the race, we just had a bit of damage. Yeah, and like the straight line speed wasn't there. But yeah, no, it was good. It was. I saw other people as well look like they had a bit of a good race. I was just chatting with the guys in the Twitch chat, so I was occupied in that regard. But yeah,
of course.
Hopefully, this next race will be good.
Oh no, 100%. And you got to go talk to your chat, man. I saw it. I told you it's a party over there. They're having a great time watching you race.
Yeah, nice little Friday.
I'm gonna be curious to see how this one goes. You're gonna have James Yaxley and Sean Clark in front of you, right? You're starting on row 2.
Oh, okay, nice.
I believe so. If I'm seeing that, if I saw the the results and we're flipping it backward, you should be in row 2 with Yaxley and Clark in front of you. So what is it? What's the rule? Just bust in front of them and then hold it. Get ready for Maxime to come up behind you. Maxime,
yeah, I think at that point it's just like put your head down. I'll put one thing. I've got a bad habit of looking at chat into the corners and stuff when I probably should be looking on the straights. So
Okay.
I'll probably have a few mistakes here and there, but try and build a big enough gap between Will and Maxime and those very, very quick guys and Soren and stuff. Because I know they'll catch. So try not to rinse my tires too much. Try not to push it too hard.
Yeah.
Because once they do eventually catch up, which they will, I want to have enough tire life that I can really, have a bit. And it's the last race, so the pods will be out. We'll. I know Maxime can take it, so I'll definitely be sending him a bit wide.
Excellent. Well, it looks like you are set for this third race. By the way, last week I got yelled at.
Oh, how come?
Well, see, after the last race last week, as all you guys seem to do, you just look for a target after you cross the finish line and you get the checkered flag. And your target was James Yaxley last week.
And that was so bad. Yeah.
So I posted that apparently James had to die. Or I said on stream, apparently James had to die. So then I got hit up in Discord going, why did I have to die? And I'm like, no, I didn't say you had to die. Apparently Alex decided you had to. I didn't do that. That wasn't my fault. He did it. I wasn't on track. Don't kill James this week because I don't want to get yelled at.
No, that's fair enough. Do you know, I completely forgot about that. It was, I thought it was Maxime I was targeting, so I was looking at the relative, and then literally at the last second I realized it wasn't him, and I smacked James. And then Maxime, because me and Maxime have a similar livery, like it's pretty much the same livery. He said some questionable words, followed by, similar to like you're a bit of the word of idiots. And he's like, we've got the same livery. How on earth did you mistake like me? But like for Will, for James, and I was like, I don't know. It's like, you've seen my streams, you've seen me drive before. I always pull these silly moves. But I did feel really bad about that because he was just minding his own business, and he probably could have had his voice feedback on. It could have really hurt him. So I felt really bad afterwards for that.
He was like, why did I have to die? I'm like, dude, I don't know why you had to die. Go ask Alex why you had to die.
Yeah, I actually haven't told him that. Yeah, I'll actually tell him after this race. I'm like, really sorry about last week. That was my bad. 100% my fault.
Well, sir, I'll let you get back to your chat. Tell all those people to have a great afternoon. Enjoy watching it, and we will be ready for race 3 here in just a few minutes.
Sounds good. Sounds good. I'll see you.
Luck.
Thanks.
So folks, I'm going to take a quick step away while we wait for this warm-up session to run down. About 5 minutes left, or I'm sorry, yeah, about 4 minutes left. I will be right back, ready for race time here. So hang out. We're going to watch Will Green turn some laps. And we'll be back with it, ready to cover race 3 in just a moment. Stand by. Mr. Green decided to dive into the pits on me, so let's catch up with another driver. Maxine Greno with a 127.10 during this warm-up session. Mr. Lewis out on track and then decides to go away just as we come to see him. James Yexley getting a few laps in today. Most of the drivers deciding they're going to sit in the pits for this one. Sean Clark in there. Practice, this warm-up session now coming to an end, and we'll get the last race started today. Ready to go. Everything jumps around to get prepared. So again, James Yexley, Sean Clark in row 1, Zella Lewis, Zekranati in row 2, Knutson and Will Green in row 3 with Laholo and Grenon in row 4. Nice tight grid. You guys heard Alex say it. He's got to get ahead. He's got to break around Yexley and Clark up front, right up front. Get around these two. On here. There we go. Thank you. If he can get around Yexley and Clark into T1, T2 through that scenario, he's going to have open air. He'll have the opportunity. Now, looking at the way things are pointed, he's going to have the inside line. into turn 1. But that's going to put him on the outside for turn 2. So he's got to keep an eye on Giorgio and make sure he can get around him too. Or keep him in the rear view. Here we go. We're about to go green for the 3rd time today. Get ready. Uphill we go at Rudskogen. Lewis already making moves into P2. Now in changing places with James Yexley. And up front, he's got that inside line. Yexley's going to have it on the next turn. Lewis now pulling behind him. But if he can get the run downhill into that sweeper and get that inside, he might be able to take him there. Try and drive Yexley into overbraking himself going into the corner. And yep, there it is. Lewis able to take up P1 over Yexley. And James Yexley is off track and a bad crash back there. Go back and take a look real quick. See what happened to Yexley. Yexley on the outside throws the back end around, loses control, locks up the brakes, and causes other drivers a bunch of problems. Whoops. Let's go back to live now. So Zella Lewis up front, but it didn't take long. Espen Nave Knutson right there. And applying pressure. Still on lap 1. The battles are afoot. Maxime Grignon is there, back a little bit, another half a second, but this is Lewis's opportunity to really play defense throughout the entirety of this race. Way battle for 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. We'll take it. We are here for it. Will Green all the way in the back now. Here, actually, we'll see where Will Green would be that far back. But here comes Knutson, and right behind him, Grignon. Lewis Sitz tries to make that number 14 just as wide as he possibly can. With both these drivers applying that pressure. Go on board with Knutson real quick. Watch him chase down Lewis. These come together, these drivers concentrating so hard. You're waiting to see where the slip's going to come. We've seen the back ends of these Formula 4s just very willing to let go. As Knutson gets advantage, takes the inside line on Lewis. And are we going three wide? Is that what we're going to do? Again, we are here for it. And Lewis going wide, opening the door for both these drivers. Now going to drop to 3rd. Can he hold? Nope. Grignon is up there. The liveries are so similar, it's very hard to tell these guys apart. But Knutson takes up P1. Maxime in 2nd, and Zella Lewis now in 3rd. Flat on the day. As now Maxime looks for his inside move on Knutson. Lewis gonna look for that inside line down the hill. Right now, break both these guys, and Lewis takes up P1 again. Maxime diving in hard. A little contact there. We saw some smoke as tires came together. Alex Lewis back into first with Maxime right there on him. Maxime now going flying wide. Knudsen taking up P2. There's the mistake that one of them was not looking to have happen to them, as Zella Lewis is back into first. Now Knudsen back into second. Grignon in third. Everybody should stick around for race 3. That's where the action comes. In case you didn't know. Every week this happens. Knudsen with the inside line, taking back over from Lewis in first, but not going to last. Just 7 minutes gone in this race, 8 to go, and it has been a battle from word 1, and I have a feeling this is going to continue for the next 8 minutes, folks. Grignon able to take up P2 again. He trades with Knudsen one more time. Lewis no doubt wishing these two would just battle each other and leave him alone in that first place spot. Now Maxime is going to look for that inside line down the hill. And there it is. Lewis getting pushed wide. Both drivers going to slip through. Oh, and Knudsen spun off track. And now this will become a two-way battle between Maxime and Lewis as Knudsen gets himself turned back around, but now a 6-second interval with Sean Clark right there. So let's go back and check on Laholo and Green, as this battle has gone a little bit back and forth for a while. See Clark now off track as both drivers go by. Clark getting himself well out of the way of any problems. Laholo sticking right to the back end of Will Green. Got well on and open now up front between Maxime, Lewis, and Knudsen. Clark and Zekanati into the pits. Well, a little kick out there from Green. Thought maybe we were going to get a little more contact, a little more smoke on the tires like we saw earlier. It looked like Sean Clark was in and out of the pit stop very quickly. Possibly a drive-through for penalties. Let's. Yeah, pit time of it's 2 seconds. So possibly just the drive-through there. Maxime Grenon showing once again his speed, his ability to stay out of trouble, as he is now in first for the 3rd time today, up 7 positions. Bring up the off tracks here real quick. No, I guess Sean Clark's only had 1 off track, so not gonna be the cause of issue there for the pits. But Maxime just running it out hard now. Now, in all fairness, Maxime with his fastest lap, about 7/10 faster than Lewis in this race. Last lap was about 4/10 up. So obviously opening that gap pretty handily. We've seen Maxime all 3 races today. Once Maxime had clean air, it was over, right? He just had to get clear of traffic. A little easier today than some of the previous races, given the number of drivers on track, but it didn't stop the incidents from happening. And it seems like so far, as soon as he had clean air, it was all over. Will Green now looking for the back end of Knudsen. The number 17 car. See if he can continue to shut this gap down. And there it is, Will Green on the outside. We haven't seen too much of down here today at the bottom of the hill. Usually the driver with the inside line is going to hold that corner, but Will Green gets himself into 3rd around Knudsen with a swing around the outside. Turn 3 and 4. Will Green setting a new fastest lap there with a 1:26.48. Taking a look here. It's not the only one. Maxime Grignon with a 1:26.93 for this race. So now we have to see and determine, can Will Green, and the answer is no. With only 1 minute left to go, we're down to about the last 2 laps. We're on lap 10. Race has been going about 11 laps. So Will Green's not going to be able to close that gap up to Lewis. Lewis will hold on to 2nd place today, provided he can keep himself out of trouble. Same with Maxime. Maxime can hold on to 1st. And we have not seen mistakes from the likes of those 2 drivers today, nor Will Green. He's had an excellent race today, able to push up to 3rd. He's up 3 spots in this one. Another 1:26 from Maxime. Green comes across the line one more time. That will be his last lap. Lap 11. Maxime as he heads around. Go a little on board with our fastest driver of the day. Maxime doing a fantastic job today of, it's not just the pace, it's not just the speed, it's a matter of awareness, it's a matter of him knowing what's going on around him, which allowed him to keep himself out of trouble and work from the back to the front of these packs in these last 2 races. It's not an easy thing to do, right? Not an easy thing to do, no matter how good of a driver you think you are. Being able to sneak through that kind of trouble that we saw, absolutely not something that's easy to do. So hats off to Mr. Grenon today. As he comes across the line to take up first for the 3rd consecutive race. Alex Lewis across the line in 2nd. Will Green takes up 3rd for this race. Knudsen. A little bit of loss there for this one. Knudsen taking up 4th place. Up a spot for the day, but at one point leading this, chasing down Zella Lewis. James Yaxley across the line in 5th. John Clark will be coming across very soon of UK. As Stella Lewis just gets punished into the dirt over here. Checking that out. Folks, I want to thank all y'all so much for joining me here today. It was a lot of fun, a ton of fun. I love these races, and as I said, I'm very sad I'm going to miss next week. It's awful. I don't want to miss next week, but I have to miss next week. So I'm going to have to miss next week. I apologize, and it's a horrible, horrible thing. And but hopefully you guys will get to watch this race.
Wait, are you still streaming, Maxime? Oh, sorry.
What's that, buddy?
Sorry. I
No, you're
unmuted,
good.
but I was still chatting to chat. Sorry.
You're good, Alex. You are fine, man. Don't you worry about it. How was that one?
It was good. It was good.
I think it was a great battle.
Yeah, no, it was a really good battle with Max. It's always a good battle with Maxime and Espen and stuff. Unfortunately, I think Espen had a bit of a spin at one point.
Yeah, right behind.
But nevertheless, it was really fun. It was actually I enjoyed that battle. That was like the first bit of battling. I remember at one point we went 3 wide into that turn 3, that like the most dangerous corner.
Yep.
And it was just one of those things where I was like, look, it's the last race. I trust all the guys that I'm fighting with, so let's have a bit of a, let's enjoy it there. So I thought for the content, put my car on the inside line, and I think we all got away with it. I think there's a bit of contact in some of the corners, but we all got away with it. No damage.
We did see Maxime and Knudsen come together. Like, you saw the smoke come off their tires. It was what at one point allowed you to get back into first, right? And those two tapped. I could not believe it didn't go bigger than that, but must have been the most gentle touch possible. But yeah, that battle was fantastic to watch. I wish it would have lasted the whole race. It was just so much fun.
Yeah, same. No, agreed. But that was a good little. As far as Rudskogen goes, that was actually far more eventful than I thought it would be. It was good fun.
It was a blast. So you're back for Lime Rock next week, right?
I am. So Lime Rock is definitely a track that I know well, especially in this car. It's one of my favorite combos, actually. The Formula Ford mix. Yeah, it's a good one. It's a really good one.
Okay.
It's if you're gonna jump on Lime Rock, especially if you're in the rookies section, I think that Lime Rock Formula Ford combination is one of the best combinations you get in iRacing.
Okay.
So, and I know a lot of the other guys will be really quick in it. So I'll probably be mid pace again. It's kind of a recurring theme in this series, but it'll be one that I'll really have fun on.
No, I think you had a great race today. A lot of fun, and I'm glad you had a lot of fun with it, I should say. Unfortunately, I will not be here to join you, Alex. I will not be here next Friday.
Oh,
I know. I don't. You'll have to talk to Will, see what's going on, but I will not be here. I'll be traveling. So I apologize for that, because you and I have gotten to talk throughout this entire little series, and I've enjoyed it unbelievably. But I wanted to wish you good luck next week, even though I won't be around. I should be able to watch, so I'm hoping I can at least watch it from where I'll be. So we'll see.
No, thank you very much. If I get a podium or anything, it'll be dedicated to you.
Oh, there you go.
But no, yeah, but have fun on the travels. I hope you have a wonderful holiday in the
I
traveling.
will try. I'm going to try and stay out of trouble. But thank you so much for joining me here, man. And have yourself go back to your chat. I want to leave them hanging on you. But Lime Rock's going to be a blast. Like I said, I hope I get to watch it. And thank you again for joining me here each and every week because we had a lot of fun talking and going through this.
Of course, of course. Thank you for everything. I really appreciated everything, and the commentary has been fantastic. But yeah, enjoy your break, and yeah, enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. If I don't talk to you, have yourself a great holiday and a happy new year.
Thanks yourself as well.
Talk to
Good
you
one.
soon. There you have it, folks. That's it. I'm out for the FF1600 series. So much fun. Just an absolute blast. Thank you everyone again for joining me here today. I hope you had a good time. And the Lime Rock race will be back somewhere next week. Pay attention over at Williams Gaming Club. They will make sure everyone knows where you can go and watch that. And as I said, thank you all so much. Have yourselves a great weekend. It's Friday. Go enjoy it. Have a great weekend. I'll talk to you very soon. You'll see me somewhere, either Box3. Actually, you're going to see me tomorrow over at the WGC. We're covering that 6 hours of Le Mans. Join us. Come watch. It's going to be a blast. We're going to have a great time. Thank you, folks. Have a great weekend and a great holiday.
you